Good.
Nut sacks.
All right.
Great. Thanks, Mitchell.
What?
That's going on YouTube, just so you know.
What did you say?
I don't know if it should be repeated.
Oh,
Well, no, I didn't hear it.
No, we're not repeating
me
it.
neither.
We're not repeating it.
I did the Critical Role thing where they just shout whatever at Matt and try to mess him up.
I'll put it in. I'll put it in our group chat.
Well, you did it successfully because I was just curious as to what you yelled. But, all right. Welcome back. I will do a brief recap of last session. So, last session, you guys watched as the remains of Haskin Croyburn were being removed from the manor, and afterwards you went to investigate the broken down, burnt out Church of Joaquin. You guys showed up there, you met Treese, who was in distress because the golden eyes from the statue of Joaquin had been stolen. After you guys did some investigations, you guys found a couple different pieces of evidence that pointed you in the direction of the Karnak Carnival. So you went down there, you started your investigation. Rishka was spooked because he didn't want the reputation of the carnival falling into question if somebody from the carnival was responsible. So he set up an interview for you guys. You only had to interview one person out of the people that were performing because you guys happened to pick the right person to talk to, which was Gammon White, the albino tiefling, who very sleepily and somewhat lazily explained to you that he saw three strangers out walking around in the middle of the night whilst Lila was practicing a flame spout. He saw them off in the distance. After you guys did some investigating, you talked with Rishka. You went to go wake up some carnies who were, well, not carnies, they were hired hands of the carnival to help set up the tent. They weren't there, and so you guys tracked them back to the church. You knew that one of them had a limp, which Treese saw someone with a limp the previous night walking into a field off to the west past Philippa Lochran's farm. You guys investigated some more, and I believe it was Zana who spotted some red and white striped material in a barn not that far off. So you guys crossed the field, you confronted the thieves, who were kind of just a bunch of bumbling goofuses. That's Vernon, Royal, and Yvette Vizier. They got drunk and they stole some stuff. They ripped the tent they were going to use when they were in the church, so they ended up having to spend the night in a barn because the weather was bad. So it was just a lot of dumb. You guys confronted them and bloodlessly managed to get the tent and the eyes back. They left town via the courier system depot place, and you guys returned the tent back to Rishka, who, as a favor for helping out and everything, as a reward for you guys, he offered to get you into the Karnak Carnival for free when it opens up in a few days. In addition to that, you also returned the eyes to Treese at the Church of Joaquin, after which she was able to give you a proper description of what you guys went through the previous night. It was some sort of a dream situation where the ghosts were sort of reaching out to you to bring them some sort of peace, which you guys did, and she confirmed that she feels that the spirits are in fact at peace. Which she was also very happy because she hasn't really been able to give a dream interpretation in a long time, so that felt good for her to get off her chest. Outside of that, she let you know that as far back as she could remember, Haskin had magic potential, and that if he grew up, he probably would have been some sort of magic user, but she wasn't convinced he would have been a good guy at all. You guys also went back and you chatted some more with the peacekeeper, who was having a good day right till the end of the day, where somebody came in and let him know that some sheep have been stolen from Philippa Lochran's mill. And that is where we ended last session, with you guys going off to sleep after the peacekeeper rushing off to go figure out what was going on. It was too dark to conduct an investigation, so he advised that you guys check it out the next morning. And that is where we shall begin. So, yet again, it's another morning in the Groggy Bee. And Evren, you wake up sort of shivering because you had your window cracked. And when you look out the window, there is light outside, but it is an overcast gray. And there's a chill in the air, and some rain is softly falling.
Okay. Yeah, she'll wake up, stretch, do her morning routine, whatever that is, and then probably just as she walks past Marko and Zana's door, she'll be like, "Hey, time to get up," and just head downstairs.
Right.
Let's see. So as you're sort of going down the hallway, knocking on people's doors very respectfully, asking them to get up and everything, Marco's scrambling, getting his armor on and everything. Zana is probably just like, does Zana do like yoga or something? Like, what's Zana do in the morning?
Not yoga. She does like probably just warming up through like different form and stuff. Just
I
keeping
like
on
that.
top of that physicality and like stretching and stuff.
You got to keep the limbs limber for all the cool martial arts stuff.
Yeah.
As the two of you exit your rooms, you hear a rustling noise down the hall, and you look down and you see let's see, I can actually switch to this and give you a brief visual, because why not? Second floor, here we go. So I'll bring you guys to the second floor. Again, the three of you are staying like in the first three rooms here. But you see that the Peacekeeper actually exits his room on the fourth room down. Every time you guys have woken up, he's already left for the day, but it looks like maybe he got a late start, and judging by how he's looking, you assume maybe he had a late night last night. And so he locks up his door, and he turns to look at the three of you and just says, "I can go with you to the mill. After that, I'm going to have to go and fill out an accident report, so I'll have to leave you, but I need to go fetch some things from the office. I'll be right back downstairs to have breakfast. The three of you can join me. I just have to go grab some stuff from my desk. I'll be back." And he starts making his way towards the stairs.
Right. No worries. I definitely don't have so much to tell you.
All right. We'll transition over into the first floor. You guys sort of follow the Peacekeeper downstairs into the Groggy Bee, and you assume, based on the weather, that's even more sort of deterring people from getting out and about this morning. So there's only 3 people down in the Groggy Bee for breakfast, and you would notice immediately at the far table on the far end of the room, as you guys walk downstairs and see the Peacekeeper walk out through the front door, you hear a high-pitched voice sort of excitedly from the other end of the room says, "Oh, good morning, everyone. Long time no see."
Oh, good. Good morning, Eustace.
Good morning.
How is everyone so cheery this early in the morning?
It's always a sight for sore eyes.
So Eustace, Colton, and Zwara are sitting at that table. Colton and Zwara are just sort of eating their food. They're not really paying attention to much. Eustace scooches his chair back away from the table, hops down, walks over to y'all, and just sort of stands by the table as you guys like sit down. And he just says, "So, how are you enjoying your stay?"
Oh my god, it's been so fun lately.
It sure beats the Noirast, at least from how it sounds. I was actually going to ask you the same thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if the Karnak Carnival wasn't going to be happening in a few days, it probably would have been a little bit closer. But I got to tell you, I may or may not have arranged for us to stay in town on official business just a little longer to peruse the Karnak Carnival, if you know what I mean. Just using an unnecessary amount of hand parentheses.
Thank
in
you for that.
Or hand quotes. Hand
Fucking
parentheses.
Zana will say, "Oh yes, it sounds like a really fun time," and she's quote marking every single word.
Exactly.
This is so fun with these hand motions.
Yes,
If it
I'm
wasn't
quite
for all
excited.
the, repeating days and the cryptic goddesses, I'd say this would be a perfect vacation destination.
Yeah.
You say that, and Eustace just like scrunches up his face and says, "The what?"
I'll tell you all about it.
It's a long
when we
story.
finish up here.
A very long
It's
story.
so-
Point is,
crazy.
we're taking our work very seriously. We're not wasting the second chance you've given us.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. I mean, to be perfectly honest, it's not like I was really in control of the situation, but I like the three of you. I'm glad you don't have to go to the Noirast.
Well, if it means anything, I think I really like you. I think we all really appreciate what you did.
He was so nice.
Right, Evren?
Huh? What? I think I think she would have zoned out. She's like not fully awake yet. She hasn't had her coffee or whatever. Also because her
Exactly.
player's taking notes. So.
Exactly.
Telling Eustace about how much we like him and how good he is as a friend, and that we appreciate him.
Yep, just back and forthing some compliments is all.
Oh,
Good way to
right.
start the day.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm not awake yet. So, I just yeah.
That's all right. I understand. I gotta tell you, a couple days ago, I was in a sorry state. I should not have tried one of those wolfsbanes.
And then you just hear from the
Mm-mm.
corner, Colton just says, "You only had like a teaspoon of it."
And Eustace whips his head back around and says, "Shut up, you!
Regardless,
Don't embarrass me."
I'm sorry about that. I wasn't trying to egg anybody else on or anything. Just bigger body mass didn't affect me as much.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Besides, Selena over there told me that you guys helped me to my room afterwards. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're ones to just leave people when they're in a compromised state of being.
It was the least we could do, really.
Well, I appreciate it all the same, but man, I gotta tell you, getting a chance to just sort of laze around the other day, boy, the number of characters that come through here. This place is really weirder than I thought it would be.
You're telling me.
There were those two guys that every time they see each other, they start screaming at each other. Let's see. There's the Peacekeeper, he's cool. I feel bad for the guy. Obviously you got Selena, best bread ever. Just, it's not even close. It's too bad, though. I'm not very good with names, so when the regulars come in, I struggle.
Right.
Then from across the room at the bar, Selena just says, "Oh, good morning. Would the three of you like some breakfast while we're waiting for the Peacekeeper to come back?"
That would be great. And if you have
Yes,
any,
that would be so cool.
if you have
Like,
any
yes,
coffee
please.
or anything, that would be cool too. I'm like barely awake right now.
She stops for a second and says, "My drink really didn't do the trick the other day, did it? Probably wasn't strong enough."
Probably not. Yeah, I need something pretty strong. If you have
All right.
anything.
"Give me just a second, honey."
Okay.
And she turns
Thank
around.
you.
She places both of her hands on the wall right next to the entrance to like the kitchen, sort of at the back of the bar. She takes both of her hands and she pushes into the wall. And a panel pushes back and then she slides it to the right. And sitting up in there, there's like what can only be described as almost like a small compartment.
Okay.
Like you could fit in there.
Okay.
It's like a crawl space almost, just not at floor level. It's like, imagine sort of like where like a wall safe would be, except there's no painting or anything. It's just like a void.
Okay.
And she digs her arm around in there, sort of comically fishing around, and then finally she grabs something, and you can hear it's just like a big, like, canvas bag that sounds like it has some sort of like beans in it. And she goes into the back and she starts working on something. And Eustace says, "Whoa, that's a new one. Don't think I've ever seen a chef reach into a secret compartment to make someone a drink before."
That makes two of us. I hope it's not too much trouble. I don't
You
want
getting us the good stuff? I don't want to impose. Yeah, there's no need for that, but I won't decline if you insist.
Selena,
Good stuff is
who's
so good.
like listening out of one ear, just sort of like leans back around the edge of the corner of the room from inside the kitchen and just says, "No, actually, I'm actually quite glad you said something because I haven't opened up that wool drop in probably like a year, and I forgot I had this stuff in there. Sometimes you just out of sight, out of mind."
Yeah.
And she grabs a mortar and a pestle and starts just like grinding up these beans. And then she gets like a little metal strainer and she pours some hot water over it and brings it over to you. This is like whatever fantasy equivalent of coffee would be.
Yeah.
This is the real McCoy. This
Oh,
stuff
heck yeah.
is. So what I want you to do
Okay.
is go ahead and roll Constitution.
Oh God. Okay. Just like a save or
Good
just like
luck.
a check?
Just to check.
Okay. Let me pull roll 20 up here.
Hey.
Let's go!
What, nat 20?
Natural
Nat
20?
20!
I got a 21. I wasted a good
All right,
roll.
y'all, it's time
on
to
the
see what coffee
Dang.
does.
This is good coffee,
Okay.
guys.
With a nat 20, you pick up this just brimming hot cup of coffee.
Aw.
No sugar, no creamer. This is the
Natural.
real stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So wait. All three of you rolled, didn't you?
Yeah. Jane got
Okay.
a nat
Yeah,
one.
we're all getting coffee. I
All
got
right,
a
all right.
1.
Natalie, we'll do yours first. That's
Okay.
okay. It's all right. So you take a swig of this, despite the fact that it's piping hot.
Mm-hmm.
You blow on it the perfect number of times. You slam that thing, and you are immediately feeling awake, invigorated, and ready for the day. Give yourself a point of inspiration.
Heck yeah. Thank you. That's
Just
awesome.
like that. Wow.
With a nat 20?
I love that the
Coffee?
two baristas, one got a nat 20, the other got a natural one.
We'll get to that.
Oh, amazing.
Hilarious.
That's funny.
Marko, let's see. What you rolled, an 18?
A 21.
Right. Before the added bonus or whatever.
Yeah.
You also take some of this coffee. She brings you a cup as well, and it tastes good. Like you're used to like the sort of brews that Goliaths make for like morning like drinks in general. Like you're probably not used to having coffee before, but if this is like one of your first times ever drinking coffee, this is like a good entry point. Because despite the fact that there's nothing else flavoring this thing, the roast is perfection. It tastes good.
Oh,
It's
this
like the
beats the
perfect-
heck out of grog, you guys.
Zana?
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's see. So you rolled a natural 1, yeah? Okay. So
Yeah.
here's what happens. You go to take this cup of coffee, and Eustace, who's still sort of hovering by the table, is just like, you're about to take a sip of the coffee, and Eustace like says, "Oh, I almost forgot to ask," like really loud, like right next to your ear. You fumble the cup a little bit, and you spill like half of it, and you still get the other half, but it's pretty freaking hot. I'm not gonna have you roll damage or anything, but it's hot. It's not fun.
Oh, man.
And Eustace, who doesn't even notice that you bobbled your coffee because he's not even like looking at you, Zana. He just says, "I almost forgot to ask. Like, I was just wondering, and this is just, if it doesn't work out, that's fine. But I know that you guys were talking to Rishka the other day, I heard. And there was some scuttlebutt around that you guys might be sort of befriending the Carney folk, which is great. Here's the thing. I've always wanted to be part of a performance. So what the Karnak Carnival does is every place that they go to, what they do is there's a point during the festivities where they invite people to join them in the ring, in costume, dancing around. It's a grand old time, especially with the time of year it is. That means it's going to be some sort of fall celebration. So there's going to be costumes, there's going to be music. But I was just wondering if you guys have maybe an in with Rishka. It's always been a dream of mine to dance with the carnies at the carnival. And I was just wondering if maybe that could be arranged, or I could slip in. They wouldn't even notice me there.
Well, they do owe us quite a big favor, but I don't want to push it or anything. We already have free tickets after all. Asking for any more might be...
You guys got free tickets? Not even discounted? Just for free?
We never asked. It just happened.
I mean,
so jealous.
We helped them. We did a pretty big favor for them, so it's, yeah.
I think I miss my calling in life. Prisoner transport's fun, but, you know, being on the road, being in tune with the arts, I think it would be a lot of fun.
Maybe you could be a seasonal employee. A little bit of both.
No, that's a good idea. I should look into that. Maybe I should talk to Rishka about that.
I mean, they might need more help, more hands. They just lost, like, a few of them. So, worth asking if you really want to try.
Maybe I'll have to give that some consideration. Maybe I should go chat with Rishka.
You can, like, Zana's like trying to shake the heat off the coffee, and she just looks down at where it all spilled, and she's like, yes, it would probably be very good if you asked.
Eustace turns, looks at you, Zana, and says,
"Oh gosh, you need help cleaning that up?"
No, it's okay. My pants soaked all of it up. You guys, I'm going to go change.
It's okay. I got
He
this.
stomped upstairs.
Aww. Poor Zana.
You can use my blanket. I mean my my sash.
yeah. So we'll skip forward a little bit. Eustace, Colton, Zora keep going. They keep eating. And you come back after doing your quick change. You come back down, and by that time, Selena has already put some breakfasty type food on your table, and is just sort of humming to herself as she sorts some like dishes and glassware in the back, and puts the coffee beans back in the wool drop, and then closes the panel and everything, and then just gets back to work. And while you guys are eating breakfast, the three of you, the Peacekeeper enters, carrying with him like sort of like a leather satchel and some scrolls and an ink, like a ink well and a quill, and sits down at the fourth chair, pushes the food plates away, and just starts feverishly writing stuff down. And he says, "All right, so I don't think the three of you have gotten a chance to meet Philippa Lockran yet. She... at the moment is the sole proprietor and operator of the Lockran family mill. However, I will say it's a bit of a sore subject because it hasn't been in use in a long time. So just maybe don't mention too much about that. She doesn't feel great about it. Outside of that, yeah, all I know is one of the fence posts or something was on the ground. She only had 4 sheep. Their family was in the mill business, not necessarily the shepherding business. She's had to fall back on that because she can't get the mill working. But the fence post was on the ground. That's pretty much all I could see last night. For all I know, the sheep took off somewhere. So we'll investigate it this morning. Maybe it's not going to be as bad as I think it will be. Once you guys finish your breakfast, we'll all take a trip over to the Lockran family mill and we'll just check it out.
Right. And we remembered what you said about keeping things sensitive. Wouldn't want to offend the pride and joy of these families' lives.
Yeah, that's probably a good strategy if you're trying to get information out of them in general. But yeah, that's a good call.
Well, I'm ready. Zana, are you all cleaned up there?
she's like, at this point, I think she got back and she's just been like chowing down on breakfast, and she'll be like half a forkful and just like, I can hurry.
I mean, the three of you can eat. That's fine.
Got
I'm just
too
going to be
much.
starting to write out an incident report, but the three of you can keep eating. I don't care. And he starts scribbling.
Mountain her plate.
Before we go,
Time is
can Zana, or not Zana, god damn it. Can Evren go talk to Selena real quick?
Yes.
So, okay, go find her. Be like, hey, Selena.
Yes, honey?
I just wanted to thank you for the coffee. It was really, really good. I feel much, much better now.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I figured after I gave you what I usually have that you needed something a little bit extra.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I forget half the time that I have that in there, so
Yeah.
I'm almost glad that you asked about it.
Yeah, well, thank you. Breakfast was great as always. So.
Oh, you. Thank you.
No problem. I'll see you later.
Good luck on your, I guess, your daily investigation at this point.
Thanks. I think we'll need it.
Good luck finding those sheep.
Thank you. And she'll probably, I imagine she probably like got up on the like one of the bar stools, and then after she's done, she'll like jump down and join the group.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. It's so good. It's so good. Okay. So Zana, you're just eating. Marco's probably been done for like 5 minutes because he probably just like tipped the plate.
She's just like hurrying through to get going.
Honestly, he was probably savoring it. He's probably eating with his eyes closed and a little smile on his face.
Aww.
Nice.
It's so freaking wholesome. It's too much.
Oh,
Just
man.
imagining him too with his Goliath hands trying to hold onto a regular fork.
Yeah, just like
Mm.
holding it with like 2 fingers.
I want art
That's
of
great.
that. I need that in my life. That's
Oh,
too
that's
cute.
so sweet. That's awesome. All right. The peacekeeper who was writing something down, he gets like, he sort of finishes like the header of whatever document he's writing and sort of just puts the pen down and sort of instinctively reaches up and sort of like grabs his hand, like it's sort of, he's like smoothing it out almost like he's got some sort of like a cramp in his wrist, and just says, I swear, if I have to fill out one more of these accident documents, I'm going to lose my mind.
Well, hopefully his troubles will be at an end soon.
Hopefully. We'll probably
Bulk of
end
them,
up
at
saving the
least.
day again.
Yeah, I'm ready to help whenever we can.
Definitely. You know, I'm really starting to notice that a lot of this place's problems weren't getting fixed until we got here.
It feels nice, getting
Yeah.
to do this with you two.
Yeah, we're having adventures and helping people. We're like heroes in a book.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a dream come true, to be honest.
Without even looking up from what he's doing, the peacekeeper's just like writing, but then absentmindedly, without even looking up, just asks, what did the three of you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, that's a really tough question.
And he's not even looking up. He's still just like writing out the accident report.
I mean, I guess someone that my people back home could look up to. Some kind of leader. But I've always been kind of the opinionated type that it makes it difficult sometimes. And loud. And yeah, very brash. As so I'm told, anyway.
I don't think you're that loud.
Oh, you haven't heard me yell back home, so...
Try not to make you mad then.
Yeah, you haven't seen half of it, big guy.
As you say that, just in the background, you just hear some bustling about, and you watch as Colton, Zwara, and Eustace walk past you guys out the exit. And Colton and Zwara are like sort of stretching. They're not in their armor; they're just in like casual wear, and they walk out the door. And Eustace grabs onto the door handle on his tippy toes, and he's just like,
Well, if I see you guys around town, make sure to say hi. I think I might go have a little chit-chat with Riska if they're, short-staffed. Pun intended, you never know.
Good
Hey.
luck.
Best
hey,
of
fingers
luck.
crossed, buddy.
Appreciate it.
And then he closes the door. And then, without really looking up, the Peacekeeper, after what you're talking about, Evren, about just like, yeah, with your temper and everything, he just sort of looks up at you, gives you a knowing look, and just sort of goes, yep, and just keeps writing. Yeah,
Okay.
since the three of you have been here, I took a little bit more of a longer look at your official records. Very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have records.
Yeah, anything that happens, we all have to fill out accident reports as official peacekeepers of the land. Everything needs to be documented in case something gets sent up to the Noirast. They need details. Lots and lots of details. So yes, your crime was written down too.
Oh.
Sir Kestrium, I have dreams of being a royal knight someday. And I'm gonna be the first of my kind to do it, but I have to ask, what do you think? Do you think this stain on my record is gonna ruin my chances? I mean, I've always just tried my best.
That all depends. It depends on a couple things. Once the paperwork has left my hand and entered somebody else's hand who's higher up the chain than I am, at that point, it's beyond my power to do anything. But if your records were to be expunged whilst in my care, then there would be no official record of what's going on. Which again, is something I might be able to do. Might being the operative word. It all just depends on how things go over the next few days. So far, the three of you have been model prisoners. You haven't been keeping any information from me. You've been very upfront, and I appreciate that. As long as we continue with that, there shouldn't be a problem.
Well, that's
Probably.
encouraging.
Yeah, and especially with your situation, in my most humble opinion, based solely on the few interactions we've had so far, my large friend, I am inclined to believe your side of things. However, I will say that if this document, your criminal record, ever does reach someone higher up, it's going to be very difficult to refute. Considering the fact that, you have the evidence on you, like right now, like this moment, that might be difficult to argue about.
I understand.
I think you're a perfectly nice prisoner. I have nothing against you. Again, it all just depends on how things pan out.
Hopefully my service towards the greater good can overshadow these crimes. And who knows, maybe we can happily weave it into the bard's songs.
Yeah, well, I
After all,
suppose if
history
you're
shouldn't be
looking to
ignored.
do something worthy of song, just make sure that you're doing the right thing for the right reasons.
Well, that's some sage advice. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Less sage advice and more staunch warning.
Aye, aye.
Ominous.
Yes, well, let's just say that certain positions of power, gaining them and maintaining them, are not as luxurious as people might think.
Wait. What's your experience with such things? Were you always a peacekeeper?
Not in title. I fancied myself someone who enjoyed keeping the peace, but war was not what I thought it was. And I realized that in order to keep the peace, sometimes you might have to do horrible things. And at some point in time, you come to question whether or not the peace that you experience was worth the war that you fought in to gain it.
I see.
And he goes back to writing. After you guys finish breakfast, he stands from the table, gathers up some of the scrolls, puts them in the leather satchel, and says, "All right, let's head on out to Philippa Lockran's mill, and we'll get this investigation underway."
All right.
There's a plan.
Sounds good.
Okay, so he takes you guys through Montrace proper, out of the Groggy Bee, down the pathways, back along the fountain, back towards the direction of the church. But before getting all the way down there, he makes a sharp right-hand turn at this place right here that would take you guys directly to the west if you're looking at the map straight up and down, off this way. And again, you guys recognize some parts of what you're looking at, because the other day you crossed a field in order to get to a barn, but off to the right, you guys could see Philippa Lockran's mill from where you guys were. It's hard to miss, because as you guys approach, you can see what you saw yesterday, which is a large structure that has a windmill sticking up on top of it. Go ahead and, as you guys approach the building, each of you can go ahead and roll perception.
Yay. Oh my god, I'm so bad at perception, you guys.
Me too.
Just perceive, you guys. It's not that hard.
Okay. I'll say, Evren, as you guys approach, again, sort of giving you guys a scene, setting the scene for you guys. When you guys woke up, it was cold, it was overcast, drizzly, but there was a fierce wind whipping through the valley. That after you guys exit the Groggy Bee, it just cuts right through you. It's cold. You guys obviously know that, like, there are trees dotted here and there, but based on how the valley and the hills roll, like, wind just barrels through that valley. So it's cold, and the wind is substantial. Evren, you're the only one who notices the fact as you approach that the windmill is not turning. You guys walk over to, again, this sort of almost industrial-looking building. It's like a low, flat building, no frills. It's just a homestead with a large building. So I'll go ahead and take you guys there now. Hopefully you guys can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you guys see your tokens and everything.
Yep.
I think I permanently fixed it so that way you guys can always move those tokens no matter what page they're on. You should be able to.
I can't move mine now.
No.
Does
I
it
can
erase
ping.
it every time?
Yeah.
I swear. If they have you do this every single time, that is Garbo. Pure and simple Garbo. Okay, now you should be able to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
So you guys, as you're approaching the homestead, off to the right, you see that there's like a mule in like a little sort of enclosure. It's got a roof and everything, and there's just like a cart and some hay. Again, the building itself, very bare bones, nothing fancy about it. It just sort of looks like an industrial type low building with a windmill on top. You guys approach the building, and the Peacekeeper, so the doorway is right about here. Peacekeeper says, "All right, this is the first time I'm going to be formally asking Philippa any questions, because last night it was late and I didn't want to get into the thick of it. I already did a preliminary investigation of the grounds, but let's talk with her and see what she has to say." He knocks on the door, and the door is opened by a shorter, stouter, black-haired female dwarf, wearing like sort of like overalls, and she like sort of puts her arm against like the door frame, and just very casually looks at the peacekeeper, and just eyes the three of you, looks you up and down, looks back over to the peacekeeper, and says, "Well, you want to see the damage?" And the peacekeeper says, "Yes, that's what we're here to do, Philippa. You can go ahead and show us the fence posts." And she takes her arm off the door frame, turns to the three of you, and just motions with her hand. And she walks you guys around to the back of the building. And as you guys approach, you see that there's what looks to be some sort of sheep pen. It's very muddy, and there's some hay. And the first thing that you notice is that the wood beams that cross over the front of this they've been broken in and are lying on the ground. And Philippa says, "Well, let's see. Where do I begin? I went off to do my shopping for the day at the Sundry's place. I stopped off to check and see if I had any mail from my brother at the courier's. I did all of my chores in town, and I got back at the end of the day, and this is exactly how I found it, just like this. And all 4 of my sheep are missing, Peacekeeper." And the Peacekeeper is just like writing stuff down and says, "Yeah, this definitely looks worse than I saw last night." And he starts filling stuff out. And she wipes her brow and just says, "Peacekeeper, I have to be honest with you. If this doesn't get sorted out, if something doesn't change soon, I'm going to be forced to sell. You know that, right?" And the Peacekeeper says, I know. Just give me a second, all right? I understand the situation is difficult." Then Philippa says, "Difficult doesn't begin to cover it, Peacekeeper, all right? It's bad enough that my father died before telling us how to operate this stupid thing. But now my brother, the only person who I could rely on for help, is off away at school in Evren, so I've got nothing. Those 4 sheep were all I had. What little wool they produced, that was basically how I was making any living at all. This place is already in disrepair. I mean, how are you going to fix this? And I don't blame you, but I might just have to leave. I just don't see any other possible way that this story ends with me staying here. You understand that?" And the Peacekeeper says, "Philippa, I know that this is difficult. We're going to try and find them, all right? That's what these 3 are here to do." And she looks at the 3 of you and just sort of like, doesn't sneer or anything, but is just sort of like unimpressed, and just looks back and says, "Now what are the 3 of them going to do with this situation?"
I give a happy little small wave.
I mean, no offense to the 3 of you, but you're outsiders. You don't know the area, and even if by some miracle this all turns out well, and even if you found all 4 sheep, let's just make the most optimistic point of view. Peacekeeper, you knew this place was going down anyways. This is just insult to injury at this point. And the Peacekeeper says, "Philippa, I'm sorry about your financial situation. I really am. But that's not what I'm here to do. You reported a crime. We're going to investigate the crime. I can't help you in that way. You know I can't." Philippa says, Yeah, I know. It's just, it's my dad's invention. Feel like a failure not being able to keep the thing running." And the Peacekeeper says, "We'll look into this. We'll try and find your sheep, all right? I'm going to go fill out an accident report. The 3 of you go ahead and take a look around. Actually, before he leaves, while he's still writing stuff down, I want the 3 of you to roll investigation."
Okay.
Okie dokie. Investigation.
Yeah.
Yay.
Great start.
It's something.
Zana, with a 13,
Mhm.
as they're sort of talking back and forth, Philippa and the Peacekeeper, you're the one who steps closest to the wood that's on the ground. And you're looking down at it. And again, it is very obvious to you that the wood was broken from the outside in. And furthermore, you notice that there are scratch marks on the wood.
Hmm.
And just as you're sort of investigating the area, the Peacekeeper and Philippa start walking, and he turns to Philippa and says, I'll need your official report. If you want to go inside, jot something down that I can put on this report. Just give me the facts, write something down, and then I'll go off and I'll fill it all out for you, all right? Just give me a summary and I'll start work on it. And Philippa sort of waves him off and goes inside. And the Peacekeeper just sort of hangs his head and just scratches the back of his head and says, yeah, that's Philippa Lockran. Her and her family have lived here for a long time, and times are hard. So she already wasn't doing well financially before this happened, so I don't know what's going to happen to her, but that's not my job. And then he walks closer to the fence posts and just starts writing stuff down.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just writing, just sort of looking at the scene and sort of every once in a while giving like a cursory look up at what's going on and then back down to his paper.
I feel like at some point probably would point out like the broken stuff and the scratch marks and be like, that's probably weird. Sorry, that was random.
What's strange?
She'll point to like all the scratched up claw marks and all that.
You found something already?
Yeah, I'm kind of awesome.
Well, we all knew that.
The
does that mean?
Peacekeeper, after you say that, sort of crouches down low to the ground and sort of looks at the pieces of wood and just starts making some notes here and there. And then he stands up and he looks at you, Zana, and he says, well spotted. I'll just make a note of that. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. This investigation may not lead anywhere. So far, all the sheep that have gone missing, there hasn't been any trace of them at all. No footprints, no nothing. They just disappear. Even a stupid animal, at some point in time, will leave tracks of where they are. But none of these animals have. So what I don't want is for the three of you to go traipsing off hither and yon over fields, trespassing on people's property, looking for sheep, all right? There's a right way to do this and a wrong way to do this. The best thing to do is try and see if there's any trace of them nearby. That's step one. If we can't get any further than that, then I might have to go make some inquiries of other farmers. Maybe they found some sheep wandering loose and they didn't report them. Who knows? All right? I'm going to take Philippa's statement, and then I have to take it all back to the office and start writing stuff down. At the end of the day, just let me know if you found anything new. But I'm going to head out. You guys stick with Philippa. And again, just, hear her out. She's in a very difficult financial situation at the moment. Mm-hmm. And he takes his notes, and he heads off towards the front door. You hear the door open and then close, and you see the Peacekeeper walk back into town towards his office. And then Philippa rounds the corner, sees the three of you, and just says, so, you think someone stole it?
Well, I suppose anything is possible.
Couldn't rule it out.
It's just not right. I have the fewest sheep out of all the people who live in this stupid town.
Oh, let me start off by saying, whatever it is going on with you and your family's mill, we're gonna get to the bottom of this. I swear it.
Okay.
He's really good at promises.
let me think. How do I want to play this? Marko, roll me a d20.
Okay. Dice, there we go. D20. 13.
Okay. With a 13, after you say that whole I swear spiel, you can feel your dragon mark sort of heat up for a second, and you notice it more just because of how cold the wind is around you. But after you say that statement, that whole thing about, like, I swear, like, we'll get to the bottom of this, you just feel it sort of singe and then just sort of cool back off for a second. Philippa looks at you and just says, well, that's a cool party trick.
How did you do that?
Didn't mean to.
You didn't mean to? It just happened? Does that happen a lot?
I was just making a promise. It's been just recently. I'm not quite sure. Look,
Right.
I appreciate the concern. It doesn't matter. We're here to solve your problem. Is there anything that you could give us to go off of that might help us in this investigation? We're fully committed.
Well, I'm confident the sheep didn't just, leave. I have my own theory, truth be told.
You think it was one of the other families?
Well, maybe not one of the members of the families directly, but I think I know exactly who stole my sheep. I just don't know which family would have hired them.
It doesn't make much sense because there's no tracks or anything, right? There's no evidence of someone coming through here.
Or is there?
I don't know. All I know is yesterday I saw 3 shady characters walking across the field. I didn't recognize them. Again, maybe one of the other families sent them to steal my sheep. That's a possibility, right?
If I could put your mind at ease with that theory, we just investigated some, how do I say it? Carney runaways that had stolen one of the tents.
Did one of them have like a hobble or anything?
You know these 3 strangers?
Yeah, well, we took care of them yesterday, like Marko was
Vernon,
saying.
Yvette, and Royal. Just 3 assistants.
And,
They might have been taking a shortcut through your fields.
and let me guess. No sheep, right?
Mm-mm.
Just a tent.
Sorry.
Well, there goes my one and only theory.
Sorry.
It's fine. I understand that you guys are trying to help the Peacekeeper, but to be honest, when my sheep got stolen, I can't say that I was optimistic that anything would be found. This is now the 3rd theft, and this is the 3rd time that the culprit, whoever or whatever they are, hasn't left any trace of themselves. At all. At any of the 3 crimes, it's always a mystery every time. And I didn't think it would happen to me because I only have the 4 sheep. Granted, I probably could have secured them better.
And I really don't mean any harm. Don't mean to be offensive in any way whatsoever by this question, but you don't think it could be a mere accident? Just have to check that box off is all. No
Go
judgment.
ahead and roll charisma.
Okay.
Oh, good luck.
I'm good at that. 19.
Dang. So you say that, and she sort of softens a little bit and just sort of laughs to herself and says, No, I don't think my fence posts broke in half. No, I don't think it was an accident. But I suppose I appreciate you looking for the most positive outcome for everyone. I guess I can show you guys around. You guys can look. I can open up the mill, and you guys can look in there if you want.
By all means.
So she will take you guys, just sort of walk the perimeter of the building, And you guys don't find anything on the outside of the building. Like on this north side, you don't find anything. The entrance area where you were. Up on this side, on the south end of the building, all three of you go ahead and make another investigation roll.
All right.
So good at investigate. Actually, wow, I am actually 18.
That ain't bad. Ain't good,
All right.
but ain't bad.
That's not bad. That's not bad. All right, Marko, you round the corner, and you would notice that there is what appears to be some sort of strange mark on the side of the building between the ground and a window on the second story.
There's a weird mark on the ground between
On
the
the
window
on the
and
side of the building, between the ground and the second floor, like between a window
like
on the
the
second
first
floor and like on the wall of the like the siding of the mill.
Okay.
And Evren, you would also clock this, and from your angle, you're looking up at it, and it appears to it looks like mud, like a mud scrape or like a mud stain.
Huh. That's odd. I think she'll like reach up and like pat Marko like on the leg or whatever, however tall she goes. And be like, do you see that? And she'll point.
I see it.
You guys pointing that out, Philippa looks at it and says, I don't think that should... What is that? That
I
looks...
figured you would know if anyone.
Do I look like I do a lot of climbing of walls? That looks like a footprint, but it looks like they slipped maybe. But I can't reach that. I might hurt myself trying to jump from up there.
I was never blaming you. It just seems odd that you wouldn't know about this.
There's nothing valuable up there. That's just the loft.
Do you mind if we take a look?
By all means. She walks you guys into the mill itself. And looking around the inside, you can see that there's some barrels. There's a lot of wood and metal machinery sort of haphazardly lying around. It's a stone floor, but it's very unkempt. It's unswept. The entire room seems to be in a state of disrepair. Off to the bottom part of the building here, once you're inside, you see that there is a ladder that goes up, and then there's a second floor, but it's not an entire floor. It's just like a loft. So like it only goes part way across the distance of the whole building.
Okay.
And Philippa says, yeah, here you have the town famous Locklan family mill, or at least it used to be when my dad kept the thing humming. He was a very intelligent inventor. He found a way to get the mill running using wind. You know, wind whips through this valley a lot, and he found ways of automating our wool process. We were able to keep things running. We made some of the finest clothes you'd ever find anywhere nearby. That's was the case, of course, until the illness that swept through the area took Pa away, and then me and my brother had to pick up the pieces. Unfortunately, Dad didn't really write anything down. He couldn't write, and neither of us know how the mill works. We just had to take guesses at it over the years, and it worked for a little while until stuff started breaking, until finally whatever maintenance he did on it to keep everything running smoothly just sort of stopped one day. The mill just sort of froze up. And even on a windy day like today, we can't figure out why the mill won't turn anymore. Not to mention all the raccoons that have been living up in the loft. Don't even get me started. They make horrible racket during the nights.
It hasn't spun in years?
Yeah,
Years.
I noticed that on the way up here. I thought that was odd with how windy it is.
Yeah, we don't know what's jamming it. Again, if only Dad had left some sort of instruction on how to care for it, we wouldn't be in this mess, but
To be fair, he didn't anticipate the illness. I don't blame him for that. I almost wish my brother were back already from school. He's studying machines at university, hoping that he can come back and fix it all up, but by the time he's done with his schooling, we're going to be completely bankrupt.
It's no wonder you're in the situation you are now. Surely they must have left something.
Is there any way for us to, like, take a look at it? See if we can
What, the
see
mill?
anything? I mean,
You wanna
Maybe
look at the
some of us are
mill?
secretly good with machines. I don't
know, just to see if we can notice anything that maybe...
I mean, help yourself, I guess. The mill really can't get any more broken, so I guess go for it. If you do happen to find any clues pertaining to who stole the sheep, that'd be great, but I guess I wouldn't refuse the help. I'm not really in a position at the moment to refuse any help.
Okay.
Just, yeah, I guess you can look around. Obviously, if someone was clambering up into the loft, that's probably a good as place as any to start. Just be aware, like I said, there are a lot of raccoons up there, so just be careful.
Okay.
And she says, I need to gather up my statement and take it with me. Now that we have a little bit more evidence, I might want to go tell the Peacekeeper about the footprint on the side of the building. Seems like something he should know about. I'm going to go talk to him. Just, be careful while you're in here. Some of this equipment is very old and rusted. You could get hurt, so just be careful. And she closes the door behind you and walks off towards town.
Understood. I feel really sorry for her. Sounds like these last couple of years have been hard for her.
Well, if we can figure out anything about what's going on, maybe that could help her,
Assuming
get back
she's
on her
telling the
feet.
truth. It's just
I mean,
a highly unfortunate set of accidents.
we don't really have any reason not to believe her. Unless you do, Marko.
I always find that trusting people is easy.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go up to the mill, see if I can figure out why it's stuck, and if there's anything else weird. If you guys want to come with, or if you just want to look around other places.
I might go look in the loft and see if there are raccoons.
What are you gonna do if you find one?
Probably not touch it. It can probably carry diseases. But it would mean that it's not a person up there. It'd be a raccoon. So that would cause a problem off.
Perhaps, yeah. Unless, someone's, been sneaking up there and staying there. I don't know. It could be a number of things at this point.
Just be careful while you search. I know this is just a simple investigation, but after our trip to the manor, I'd expect anything.
Yeah.
Oh, what if we time travel again?
I really don't want that to happen. I really don't. Universe, please.
If I didn't have that bean beverage this morning, I'd say I couldn't even handle that.
I had it. I don't want to deal with it ever again. That once was enough.
Okay, so Zana, you're investigating the loft?
Yes.
Okay. You can go ahead. Obviously, your player tokens, you can do this all theater of the mind. I don't really care. But Zana, you decide to go and investigate the loft. The two of you can go with Zana, or you can split the party up in the mill. It's up to you.
Well, splitting the party is never really a great idea, but at the same time, our investigation would be better if we did.
Evren's set on looking at the mill, not necessarily touching it, but trying to see if she can, suss out, what's wrong with it, if it's been tampered with, that kind of thing.
Okay.
If there's any, sheep evidence.
Cool.
I don't know.
Yeah. So Marko, what
think-
are you doing?
I think Marko, having seen the spot on the side of the mill, probably would take more time to investigate, like outside.
Okay, I like it. We'll do this ABC. We'll do Loft is A, B is Evren at the mill, and then C is Marko investigating outside. So we will go with A being Zana clambering up the ladder into a dusty old loft where there's like just sort of bales of hay, and it do stink up there. It stinks of raccoon. And why don't you go ahead and give me... What do I want to make you roll for? Why don't you go ahead and roll me a perception check?
Okay. Hey, that ain't bad.
Ooh, an 18.
Mhm.
Okay. With an 18, you pop your head up at the top of the loft and you're scanning. And you see several sets of beady little eyes staring back at you, some of which are like under some hay and straw, and others that were just like crouched up on some of the beams at the top of like the roof.
Mhm.
And they all just sort of turn and look at you and are just sort of frozen, just sort of watching whatever you're doing.
She's gonna like crouch down and be like, "Oh my god, hello, you guys are so cute. Hello, my name is Zana. Can you live up here? Can you help me if anything weird's been up here?"
Okay, I'm gonna need you to make an animal handling check.
Let's go.
There's something really funny about Zana going, "Oh my god," like
Let's go.
being the most familiar with
6.
the heavens.
Perfect.
A 6. So the first raccoon that you're doing this to, and you're like asking about your investigation, you're getting close to the closest one near you, and it just sort of gets up on its hind legs and sort of makes that noise. And then, like, as you move your hand back, it crouches back to the ground and is just still just sort of staring at you.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. She'll like take a step back but stay low. I don't speak raccoon, but I hope that this is getting us somewhere. I'll leave you alone, but if you like know where any bad things are, just let me know.
I'm gonna say after the first raccoon hissed at you and everything, with your initial investigation or your initial perception check, you're sort of looking around at the other raccoons now, and you seem to have got all of their attention. They seem quite rapt with that you are here, and you are intruded upon their space. It seems like maybe they were like asleep or something because it's the daytime. You do see that there is a raccoon that is hunched over, like on one of the wooden crossbeams, and inside of its little paws, you see a glint of metal, and you see that it looks like some sort of cog.
I'll sort of like slowly and carefully sort of walk up and be like, "Oh, hello, Mr. Other Raccoon. There's a lot of you guys. Could I have that?" Like, sort of like try to gesture, like, "Hey, give. I'll give you something else."
Okay. Also,
speaking
specifically with the
Momentum.
mill, if at any point in time you want me to describe what's around you, just let me know, because there's a lot of just stuff in this place, whether it's marked on the map or not. So you're like gesturing towards the raccoon that has, and you said you're making like a give, like a give gesture. Roll another animal handling check.
All right. Come on. Let's go. Oh, that's a 5.
Oh
Let's
my
go.
god, it's even worse.
Okay, so here's what happens. You go to reach for the cog to do the little gimme thing, the raccoon tucks it up underneath it, and it skedaddles further out on the wood beam. So now it's like halfway just over top the room. Like it's like halfway across the room on this wooden beam, and after it makes it halfway across, it like turns back to look at you, and it's still got the cog. And there's just a bunch of just wooden beams that extend the length of the room.
No, raccoons shouldn't have metal things. Don't make me come up there. I probably need that.
Okay, we're gonna cut to Evren at the machine.
Yep.
So, Evren, go ahead and roll. I'm gonna say it wouldn't be Arcana or anything like that. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. I'm gonna say, what would make the most sense? Go ahead and roll me an insight check.
Sure. 21.
Oh, dang. With a 21, you are looking at this mill, and again, the wind just whipping outside. You're sort of examining the machine, the mill, that's connected to this almost like automatic loom almost. And you see that the main body of the machine itself doesn't seem to be damaged. But when you look up, sort of following the shaft of where you're assuming part of the mechanism for the windmill goes, up between the top, like basically on the inside of the roof, you can hear and you can see that the windmill is like sort of like fluttering, like the canvas is trying to move, but it can't move. Like there's something where it just keeps sort of jittering back and forth, like it's trying to move, but it seems to be stuck on something.
Okay. I don't suppose there's any way I can get up there and look at it closer, huh? It'd be difficult.
In the room itself, inside the mill, there are several large ladders.
Okay. If there's a ladder I can climb up on to get like closer to get better look at it, I'd probably do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. No, this is good. This is good. Okay. So you grab the ladder. You roll a strength check.
Oh dear God. Okay. 14?
With a 14, you drag this ladder with all of your strength over to the middle of the room, and you can move it. You get it up. You're sort of angling it against the machine at first, and then sort of tip it, and the ladder falls and rests against the wood beam closest to the top of the machine.
Okay.
And when you climb up, you look to your left, and there's just a raccoon staring at you.
Oh, awesome.
Another.
It's a monopoly on the machine.
I think she'll yell, be like surprised, like, oh dear gods, okay. Hi, don't mind me, I'm just
The raccoon crouches down at you and just starts slowly backing away from you, and then when it sits up on its haunches, you see that it's holding a cog.
Okay. Could I infer that might belong to the mill? Like, could I take...
If Evren wants to grab a shiny, Evren can try and grab a shiny.
She wants the shiny. That looks useful.
At least it makes more sense for the druid.
I was about to say, you're a druid.
Yeah.
What's this animal?
I don't have speak with animals. That's a shame.
What?
I didn't think I would need it.
You're a druid.
I do have mending though. If we can get this freaking cog away from it, I could probably mend it. You know what? So this is an idea. I have Druid craft. Can I like Druid craft a flower? Something to like. I think she wants to try and see if like she could trade. If that makes sense.
Okay, so wait. Explain to me what Druidcraft is.
Okay.
Like, explain to me what that is.
So, I'll just read the spell description to you.
Yes.
So it says, whispering to the spirits of nature, you can create one of the following effects within range. You create a tiny, harmless sensory effect that predicts... we don't need that. You instantly make a flower blossom, a seed pod, or a leaf bud bloom. You you can snuff out a candle, torch, campfire. It could do a couple of things. I was thinking more of making a flower.
You absolutely can try and make a flower.
you could certainly try.
Yeah,
I don't know if it'll work, but
you can make a flower appear. Explain to me how you do this. What does it look like?
so be like, because in her mind she's like, maybe I could trade it. I don't know if this will work. We'll try it. She's gonna like, I mean, I was gonna say she's gonna kneel down, but she's already small.
She's also on a ladder looking to the left. And
I
there's
think
a raccoon there.
She'll like start like doing like druid, like there's a verbal component, so she'll start speaking in druidic to like, and then like her hands glow, and then a flower starts to like bloom in her hand.
Okay.
And then once it's bloomed, she'll like, and she wants to make sure that the raccoon's like watching, because maybe it'll be enthralled by it. I don't know.
Enthralled.
Yeah, I love this.
But once it's in her hand, she'll like hold it up, be like, "I'll trade you flower for that."
So you create this beautiful flower out of your hand with some flair and everything.
Yeah.
The raccoon just watching, its eyes wide open as you're doing this. It's still clutching the cog. You make this flower. Go ahead and roll animal handling with advantage.
Oh, heck yeah. Okay. How do I... Will that roll it as advantage? No, wait. There's a way to do it. Hold on. Roll with advantage. There we go. Instead of animal handling. Let's go! Oh my god!
Was that a next one?
Yes!
Dang!
Yo,
For 23.
Second one this session.
Here's what
That's such a
happens.
stupid bit. Oh my god.
So, what color's the flower? Just curious.
Raccoon loves this.
Oh my god. I don't know. You know what? Let's do like an orange one, like her hair.
Ooh, yes. Okay, so you create this flower and you hold it out, and I would say even like set it down, like, in front of the raccoon, like halfway between the raccoon and you. Mm-hmm. And the raccoon takes a second. Since you're still on your ladder, you're not like encroaching upon it. You haven't moved towards it really. It slowly starts creeping up towards the flower with this cog, and just starts like sort of nosing the stem of the flower, like it's sniffing it, trying to take it in. And with your roll, I mean, he just like snatches up the flower and starts like backing away from you, and it drops. It put it down to pick up the flower, and then as it's moving backwards, it bumps the cog and it falls off the wood frame and just down to the floor below.
Okay. Like, oh, okay, it's fine. All right, you enjoy that little guy, and then I think
we will cut to see Marko's outside, not seeing any of the shenanigans going on. So you're over by the fence post, right?
Yeah, I think the first thing he would inspect is like the point in which the fence post had broken.
Okay. Let's see. How do I want to rock this?
I have coffee, so I'm getting sleepy, but I'm good now.
Yeah, for sure. Let me think. So you're just sort of reinvestigating the scene of the crime, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
So this is the point where it happened.
Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Okay. Great at this. -1. 17. Not bad.
17. Okay. With a 17, Marko is sort of you're a tall guy. You got a high vantage point. And I can just sort of see Marko staring at these broken bits of wood. And Zana told you about the scratch marks that she saw, and you're sort of squatting low, you're getting a good look at it. Very careful not to touch it or disturb it in any way. But you notice that the wood that the sheep pen is made of is not old rotted wood. This appears to be like some serious oak timbers that were used. And that they have just been sort of splintered. And you obviously, Zana saw the scratch marks, but with that high an investigation roll, I want you look at where the break actually happened, because the first thing you're thinking is maybe, you know, if it was an accident, if it just collapsed, it broke, whatever, you know, maybe it's old rotted wood. You're looking at it and you're like, no, this is like perfectly healthy. It's fine. It's not rotted at all. And you're looking along sort of like where the break happened. And you see tooth marks.
I wonder, could this be wolves? Raccoon wouldn't make marks like this, would they?
Meanwhile, cut back to A, which is Zana up in the loft,
Yeah.
surrounded by raccoons who are all just staring at her. And so, Zana, you've been watching. You watched what Evren was doing from a distance, and you saw that this raccoon is sort of inching back with a little flower in its hand. And you see that these raccoons watched as the cog fell to the floor, and then they all look down at where the cog is, and one or two of them look back over at where you are at the ladder, and one or two of them start slowly approaching you.
I want to use a key point to
Hey.
shadow the wind and just dash as quick as I can.
Oh, I thought you were gonna flurry of blows.
No.
I was like, what are you using a key point for?
No.
So you're using a key point to like dash?
To go fast.
Okay. And where just back down?
Just to get to that cog, yeah.
Oh, okay. Are
I wanna
you
beat
taking
him
the
there.
ladder or are you going straight down?
I'm just going straight down.
Okay. So what does the key point do for you? What's the like, is it just a dash, like you go really fast, or like what's
It's
the
a
verbiage
dash
of what you're
action,
doing?
So I can go my whole 40 feet just in one go, and also my jump distance is doubled if I needed to jump.
Okay. I'm going to say roll acrobatics. We're
Okay,
going to see how well you stick this. We're going Olympics.
Gotcha. I do have a thing if I flub it, but that's a nat 20, so I'm good.
Nat 20 on acrobatics! Holy
Yeah.
cow!
What
I
the
got my
heck
one
is
for the day.
happening?
You see that the raccoons are starting to like, they're all like, you dropped the shiny. Like, what are you doing, you moron? And they all start to like move towards the ladder. You run right past them and you jump down and you do just like a perfect parkour roll.
Mhm.
Just as Evren finished sliding down the ladder. Or I guess I shouldn't speak for you. Evren, were you still investigating up at the top of the ladder?
Oh no, after she trades the flower for the cog and she watches it fall to the ground, she'll just go, and then start climbing down. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So you two are now looking at this cog on the ground. The cog doesn't appear to be broken. All the teeth seem to be in place. But you do notice that the way the cog is constructed, it's supposed to slide in to place like from the side and then be sort of latched in place. So it's supposed to like go around something and then be fastened in place. So it's like an irregular looking cog, but it like has a small entry point and then just a regular circular space for something to be in the middle of it. And it appears to be in relatively good condition.
I'll just hold it up and be like, I got it. Did you see that? That was so fast. I don't like falling, but I did it.
Good job. I'm glad. Yeah, I traded a flower for that, so I'm glad. Is it broken?
No, it's just weird.
Okay, cool.
Looks like we would need to like tie it into something.
I think she'll like look back up the ladder that she just came down from. She's like, I was up there to try and look at the mill further to see if I could figure out where I mean, she found out, right? She figured it out. I can't.
You looked up there and you saw that like all the mechanisms appear to be there, but for some reason the mill is not turning, but it wants to turn.
Okay. Yeah, she'll just relay that back to Zana. So maybe that cog has something to do with it. Maybe that's like its missing piece to make it go.
Should we go try to fix it? I don't know how to fix it.
I could try. I have a little spell I could do that might help with it.
Ooh. She'll like move over, just hand it over. It's like, I like to see your magic. Try that.
Okay. Okay. She'll take
you
it.
can actually fix things with yours.
She'll take it and then probably put like, I imagine she has a bag or something with her. She'll put it in there for safekeeping. Make sure it doesn't fall down again, and then she'll climb back up to try and figure this out.
So go ahead, now that you're at the top of the ladder, armed with your little cog, go ahead and roll investigation with advantage, since you have the cog and you know what the shape of it is.
Sick. All right. So...
I swear, if you nat 20 on your first roll anyways...
Shift left. Okay. You said, which one was it?
We'll go investigation.
Investigation. Nope. Wah, wah. Well, actually... I was gonna say, I have inspiration, but that's for advantage, isn't it? Or is that a reroll? I can't remember.
Say what again?
My inspiration, is that for advantage or is that a reroll? I can never remember.
Inspiration, I believe, is to give yourself advantage.
Okay, so I already had that, so I'm not going to use it for that. But yeah, it's a 9.
So yeah, you clamber up to the top of the ladder, and you're looking around, and you don't... Looking at the mechanism as it is on the inside of the building, you don't see a place to put the cog.
Okay.
On like what you're looking at on the inside of the building, you don't see where you need to put it.
Huh. Okay. Zana, I'm not seeing a place to put it up here. She'll yell down.
Well, it's got to go somewhere.
Okay.
Okay, I could try to go up and see if it might fit anywhere.
You can go ahead and... So you're walking up to the machine itself. You can go ahead and roll investigation. I'll say, since Evren is trying to help key you in, you can also roll investigation with advantage. Just because you guys have the piece that you need, you're just trying to figure out where the heck it goes.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Okay, so first one. I don't need advantage. That's nat 20 for 22.
Oh
Let's go!
What is going on? What is
You're outside. You don't know anything, Mitchell.
Oh, guys, I didn't tell you I'm best friends with Hephaestus, the god of the forge.
So, Zana, you walk up to the machine. And again, it doesn't look broken. But you do notice that there is a large metal panel on the side of the machine. That appears to be like... There's like a gap. Like it looks partially pried open.
Mm-hmm. Could I like try to open it the rest of the way up?
Sure. Roll a strength check.
All right. This is where I'm not just like a straight strength check.
Mm-hmm.
It's where I'm not the best. Yeah, no, that's a 7.
Okay. You place your fingers inside the gap and you try and pull, but it is just so, like, it's rusty, it's grimy, it's not moving. Again, it doesn't look broken, it just looks old, and you cannot move that panel. We're going to cut over to Marko, who is squatted down still by the broken fence posts, taking a look at the bite marks inside the wood.
He just like stands up and just goes like, what am I doing? I need to be better than this. I want to take that promise seriously. I don't even know what I'm looking for. He just looks around. Can he see the sheep that are still there?
So, based on the conversation before, you heard that these 4 sheep were the only sheep that Philippa had left. So you can go ahead and scan the horizon, though, if you would like, to just sort of, I imagine Marko sort of spinning around, sort of trying to think, like, where would you even go, basically?
Yeah.
Like, if you were running away with sheep, or if you were a wild animal, no matter what direction would you even go?
Yeah, just trying to figure out, like, if he could see where, like, sheep could go, like, where would that probably be?
Yeah, so you can go ahead and roll. I'm gonna say, roll insight.
All right, 11.
All right, with an
Great.
11, you know that when you have like farmers, stuff like that, they have to have places. They have to have pathways through their fields in order to bring their flocks and stuff, because you don't want them just tromping through all your crops every time you need to move them from point A to point B, and you don't necessarily want to skirt the outside edge of just some giant wheat field, right? So you're scanning, you're looking around, and you see that there are multiple just like pathways through the grain, like sort of going out in different directions from where you are.
Can't necessarily trust that animals would stick to the path, but if somebody was leading them, maybe. Can you find out where these paths like lead? Do one of them leads probably back to town, but the other probably leads away.
One
somewhere.
of the from the fields are sort of like behind her property and to the sides. So like one pathway seems to go like to the north, one seems to go further west, and one like looks like it maybe wraps around and goes down to the south. Again, sort of just darting in all different directions.
Okay.
It's at this point that you let me think. What would you hear or what would you experience from this? You are standing there, sort of surveying the area, and you hear this sort of breaking, cracking sort of sound. And again, with just this relentless wind that has been blowing, you see that there's like a small dead pine tree that just sort of topples over and lands on the ground. Like right over like one of these paths that goes off through the fields.
All right. Huh. I just look back at the house, and I'm just like, it'll just be a second. And go to investigate the tree.
Okay. So you go up to this dead pine tree. Again, it's just sort of, it's a little muddy like where you are because it's been drizzly, it's cold, it's miserable, and this tree has just sort of fallen to the ground. And it's just sort of like right over this pathway, like right before it goes into the field itself. And I'm going to say that you should roll investigation.
Okay.
Shocker, I know.
14.
With a 14, you see that there's something protruding from the fresh mud that is pinned underneath this tree.
Oh, can I get a closer look at it?
Mm-hmm. You can squat down. You can't really see much of it. Again, it's also covered in mud. It looks like some sort of fabric.
Can I try and get it out from underneath the tree?
Sure. How do you want to do that?
Like with one hand, can I like lift up the tree just enough to like give way and like pull with the other hand?
Oh, okay. Go ahead and roll strength.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about. 22.
Woo! Very nice. With one of your massive hands, you take this dead pine and you lift it with one arm. And you haven't, this might be one of the heaviest things you've lifted in a long time. And you're doing it with like one hand. And you just take whatever's protruding from the ground and you just whip it out from underneath. And in your hand, you are holding what looks to be like a tattered purple cloak with a clasp on it. Like a little metal clasp.
just try to shake away the dirt and just like get an even closer look at it.
Yeah,
Swipe away
for
the
sure.
mud.
Yeah, for sure.
His
You
interest is peaked.
shake loose some of the dirt, and you can see, I'm not going to have you roll for it, the clasp itself is identical to the coat of arms in the Croyburn Manor. It's like a little shield with like the logos of like the sheep and the wolf with the arrow through it, the sheepdog, like it's the exact same crest basically as like the clasp on a robe. But this cloak or this robe is like, even without all the mud covering it, it was like moth ridden and it was in bad shape.
Huh. I'm just gonna like go wide-eyed and just look around the vicinity of the like area with this fallen tree. Just be like, this can't possibly have a connection. Doesn't make any sense.
As you say that, you feel your dragon mark pulsate with heat once, go
Oh,
away,
God.
pulsate with heat twice, and then go away.
Stop it. Stop. What is happening? Why is it particularly bad today?
We'll cut back to Evren and Zana inside.
Mhm.
Panel still ain't moving.
Okay. Be like, any luck, Zana?
This stupid panel is stuck and won't let me open it.
Okay. Here, I can try. She'll.
Okay.
I don't know if she has to climb down or what. but
Each
she'll
of you
go.
can roll strength.
Let's see
Okay.
how this goes. Strength, just plain strength.
Yep.
All right. Nope.
Okay, so Zana, now that you've like sort of figured out, okay, I don't want to lift that from there, I don't want to pull from there, you get like a lower angle and you start to pry it back, and the metal is not super thick, so it's sort of, it's bending, it's not like breaking or anything, it's bending
Yeah.
towards you, but it's still like stuck up at the top and it's not moving. But you're getting your corner open, and you see that some straw falls out. Go ahead and make me an athletics check, Zana.
Oh boy.
Oh, that thing I'm awesome at. Okay. There's a 14. That ain't bad.
Okay. With a 14, you do not let go of the metal as a raccoon comes flying out of that gap that you've just created in the machine and starts ambling outside the barn. It scares you. It scares both of you. Evren specifically because it runs like right past you.
Yeah. But, I was just stare at it. I
It
know I
runs
come
towards
from.
the barn, looks up back over at you, and then runs out the door.
I think everyone's gonna watch it leave. Be like, I know I come from a forest, but this is ridiculous. Can we just get that? Is that open now? Can we look at it?
Zana's holding it still.
Okay.
In the same position. She didn't drop it because of her check. But
Okay.
it's not budging on her end.
Okay.
It looks like it still needs some oomph.
Okay. Do I don't know if I have
I
anything
think
that
we
can
need
help.
more oomph.
Yeah. Where's Marko when you need help?
I don't know.
Marko!
Meanwhile, cutting to Marko just holding a cloak, just like looking at it. Just like, and then it cuts back to them just like straining on this machine. What are you
Also
doing?
doing things that require a lot of strength.
Marko, what are you up to now that you got this cloak?
Probably heading back. He's probably like, I don't want to head any further away. I just want to go show the ladies what I found.
So you make your way towards the front of the mill, and as you're just about to like go through the doorway, you just see a raccoon dart out in front of you, like right, like almost over your feet. And it scurries off towards the field.
What in the?
You walk into the into the room, and you just see Zana and Evren pulling as hard as they can on this piece of metal, but it will not come loose.
Can I add something for Evren? I think she's just getting beyond frustrated at this point with everything. She's just kicking and like cursing, like, come on! Just like, it's just so mad.
I love it. I love it.
Words I don't like.
But yeah.
That's what you enter to,
Very.
Marko.
Hello.
Oh, thank God.
Where have you been? We need your help. We can't get this stupid thing open.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were frustrated.
Ugh.
I have good news. I have a breakthrough.
Meanwhile, both of them are like, being
Marko,
rolling
can that
off
wait
their
a second?
temples,
Can you just
holding
help
onto this
us
piece of
with
metal.
please?
Oh yeah.
Please.
This whole thing, and I'll just try to yank it off.
Okay, roll a strength check. Zana's still holding the one part of it.
15.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Not
With a
bad.
15, all of you pulling together, the panel unsticks. It swings open with a thud. It like hits the other side of it, metal reverberating. And looking inside, it is just, it looks like the loft. There's just a lot of hay and a lot of raccoon crap. And a lot of just like mechanisms that are like not moving. There is one piece of machinery, though. It looks to be some sort of a rod or pole that enters into sort of the belly of the machine. And every once in a while, it just sort of keeps twitching back and forth. All three of you roll investigation.
Sure.
No wonder it broke. They don't clean it.
Oh, okay.
The 19.
I'm still mad. Still mad about the raccoon.
Okay, Zana. With your 19, you can see that there are cogs dotted here and there on the parts of the machine. You're sort of trying to track from where the loom is back to where the mechanism, where it connects to the actual windmill. And you do notice that there is a space of metal where there's like some rust in this sort of shape around the middle, like a ring of rust sort of. Coming down from that pole that attaches through the roof to the windmill, the thing that's twitching every once in a while, you can see that there's a gap. There are gaps to the left and right of that pole where there are just other gears that don't have anything mating with them. There's no other gears touching.
Could I try to fit the one I've got in one of the gaps? Oh, wait, I give that to Evren.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Evren has it currently in her bag.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we were right. We might be able to fit that other gear in here somewhere.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple gaps.
She'll reach in her bag, be like, here, do you want to put it on or should I?
Well, you were gonna use the magic to fix it.
Okay, well, here, let me get up there. And she'll, like,
You were
yeah.
gonna mend it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. She'll get in position to try and fix it.
Okay. So you're like clambering back up the ladder towards the mechanism, up towards the top of the building. Zana's got the actual cog in place. And Zana, with your 19, you successfully slide it in and you pull your hand back really fast. And you can see that the gears fit perfectly, but it's still sort of doing that shudder where it's like trying to move. And it just seems like something is just gumming it up. Evren, you are using what, mending on the mechanism?
Yeah, I think I could share that in the chat. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if that would work, but it sounds like it could. So
Okay.
I don't know if it's like too big or what, but
No, that's fine. So you're up at the top of the building of the machine, like before it goes out onto the actual roof where the windmill is. And again, you're just sort of seeing this whole thing is just sort of like stuttering. It's trying to move. And you see that there is basically like a ring of metal that has split in half, cracked, and is now fitted between one of the gears up at the top. Like it's a ring that fits over one of the gears has broken, and one of the broken pieces is basically slipped in between the teeth of the gear. and it just keeps on hitting up against that piece of ring.
Okay.
So when you cast Mending on the ring, you like grab the other part of the ring up out of the gear, and you use Mending on it, and it fuses it back together. And all of a sudden, all this just like grime and rust sort of drips onto you. It like falls out of the gears above you. And you just slowly hear this churning, clunking noise as the windmill slowly starts to turn.
Okay. And she's like wiping that off. Like, I think I got it, guys. I think.
Okay.
And she'll get back down after
Okay.
that.
Don't fall.
Why would you say that?
Because I don't want you to.
So we can go, excuse me, we can just sort of fast forward what you guys do. You basically just put everything back.
Yeah.
You know, you slide the ladder back down to where it belongs and everything, and you sort of tidy up what you did. You close back the machine thing, and you're sort of standing in the mill. Just on all three of you are like, you're not exhausted, but you're sort of huffing and puffing a little bit. Like that was not an easy task what you did. But after an impressive performance by all three of you, you have successfully got the mill up and running again.
Yay.
Awesome.
Man, I feel really bad for that guy that went to school for this. I'm not even from this plane, and we fixed it.
Yeah, well, they should really do something about the raccoons. They're the culprits.
Yeah, well, the raccoons are so sweet and nice. It's not their fault they didn't clean it.
They're the ones that stole the cog in the first place, Zana.
Well, they didn't check.
Pests and past attempts aside, I'm just glad we could help.
Right.
Yeah. You should probably go tell them.
We can.
Yeah.
Marko, did you have something? Did you find something? You were very
Oh, yes.
excited about something.
I was looking outside and I found this underneath a tree. And I hold up the cloth to where the Croyborn emblem could be shown.
Oh,
Oh.
fancy.
You found that in a tree?
Under a toppled tree, to be precise.
Okay.
It seems there's a connection with other bits of our investigation going on here.
Why wouldn't there be? This place is so weird. Okay. Well, definitely.
I was hoping it was just an isolated incident. But even if we weren't taking this seriously before, I must urge you to take it as seriously as you can now. Probably
I've been
more
taking
going
it
on
so
here.
serious.
Good.
The
All right.
investigator will probably want to know this.
Yeah. So after you confer with each other, Marko, do you also share your findings on the fence post as well, I'm assuming?
Yes, I'll explain how there were bites, and it was a little hard to tell what kind of animal it was from, but there was indeed some kind of animal related incident.
Oh, that's don't like it. She even though it's just the three of them, just here she still look around and even be like, "Do you think it was wolves? We're not supposed to talk about them."
I definitely wouldn't rule them out, given everyone's sensitivity to them being around here. And not to mention the experience we had with old man Hoiburn dealing with the wolves. Can't ever forget that.
So the three of you just sort of conferring with each other, talking about your findings of exploring the mill and everything. You guys walk out, and you were cold when you left this morning, and it's still overcast. The rain has pretty much stopped by this point. Still very windy. But when you leave the almost stifled air of the mill, it feels so good to be back outside in the breeze. For Evren and Zana, who've been sweating in essentially a barn for a while. But the breeze feels great. And you can hear this noise, this sort of regular canvas flapping noise. And you look up above you and you can see that the cloth sails of the windmill are just flapping in the wind and just spinning rhythmically. And you can just hear all the little mechanisms spinning it. And as you guys are sort of standing there looking up at it, you hear a voice behind you that just says, "What did you three do in there?" And you turn around, and it is Philippa Lockran, who is just staring up at the windmill turning in the wind.
Well,
Oh,
I can't take any credit. That was all the ladies.
one of
yeah,
the
we fixed it.
little friends, raccoons there, had a part of the windmill. I had to trade a flower for it, which I still can't believe worked, but hey.
She's sort of just, she's like listening to what you're saying, but she's not looking at you. She's just transfixed on the mill turning. And after taking a moment, she looks at the three of you and just says, "I don't know how you got the mill working, but this changes everything. You don't understand. My family, we were never really shepherds. We would work with the material that the shepherds gave us. That's how we made our money. That's how we were able to support ourselves. If the mill is working, the shepherds will have a place that they can take their wool. I could get this place back up on its feet again. And when my brother gets back, he'll know how to maintain the machine. I don't know why you fixed it or how exactly you fixed it, but you might have just saved our family from having to sell this place. And I don't know how to thank you for that."
We swore a promise. It's as simple as that.
So
Well, if you don't know how to thank us, you could probably say thank you. I'm fine with that one.
all this from a couple footprints on the side of the building, and you got my mill working again.
We're kind of the best.
Way to be humble, Zana.
I said we.
She just sort of runs up to the three of you and just sort of without warning gives each of you a hug and just says, "Thank you. You have no idea how much this means to me and my family. My brother, next time I write him, I'll finally have some good news to share with him. I lost the sheep, but I don't care. I don't care that I lost the sheep. That's not what matters. What matters is that a Lockran is going to stay on this homestead. That's what matters."
Yeah. You tell him.
It was our pleasure.
I'm glad we could help.
She, again, just sort of looks back up at the mill, and you can see that there are tears welling up in her eyes that she has to quickly wipe away. Just sort of in shock. The shift in her fortunes from this morning to now. And she just sort of raises up a hand and says, "Wait, I've got it. And then she runs over to the wagon over by the donkey that's tied up. And she lifts open, it's kind of like the bench where the drivers would sit. And you can see that there's some like storage. And she just starts rifling through stuff. She's sort of just comically like throwing blankets and random bits and bobs and stuff. And then she closes the top of the lid and walks towards the three of you and says, "The three of you can take your pick. We don't have much. These were probably some of the last items that we ever made here at the mill, but the three of you can have something. I mean, it's awfully cold out. You need to keep warm. And so she spreads out on the ground in front of you 3 different items.
Oh boy.
3 different clothing items. So on the ground, you can see that she has an ornate coat that sort of has this sort of, it's almost as if someone's collar went all the way back behind them in almost like a square. And there's some very intricate embroidery on the back, just beautiful patterns. It's like almost a cream white coat with sort of this red and blue embroidery on it. And it's like a longer coat, like trench coat length, and it looks warm. Next to that, there is very delicately folded and wrapped. There appears to be some sort of cowl. It's that same sort of cream white, but sort of on the front where like your face would go, that little, it comes down to like a little point, and there's some embroidery work down where it would sort of fall over near the bridge of your nose. And it's long enough that it almost doubles as a scarf. Like it's a head covering, but you can sort of wrap it over your shoulders. And one part of it might fall in front of you, and the other part would fall behind. And there are just some very beautiful little red tassel work done on the ends. Again, sort of like a scarf. And next to that on the ground, there is a set of gloves. Also, that same cream white, same sort of red. It looks like this was all made to sort of be in like a set together. And you can see on the inside, it's just this like wool lining. It looks extremely warm. And just sort of this beautiful patterning along the back of like the hand, in this sort of almost like illustrative, almost simple embroidery work of like a shepherd and like 3 sheep, just sort of on the back of each glove. And she says, I don't know who wants what, but take your pick. Thanks to you guys, these won't be the last 3 things that the Lockrans make here.
Really, no reward is necessary. It was just a promise.
I think while they're talking, Evren's already looking over because she's. I like to think since she's a wildfire druid, so I like to think because of that she hates being cold. So if these things are warm, she's like, ooh, this could be great. Like I'm freezing. This sucks. Like
I like the gloves.
Well, you could take if you're taking the gloves. I mean, you said the coat was like a long trench coat, right? I was like, I could be wrong, but this might not fit me, Marko. Maybe this is more your style.
I don't even think this would fit me.
You try it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can go ahead. So that means, Zana, you grabbed the shepherd's gloves. You can add that to your own personal inventory if you want.
I guess I'm taking the cowl.
You're taking the cowl.
Yeah.
Again, it's sort of this very cool, ornate head wrap with sort of these red embroidery stuff all through it. And you like it particularly because there's also like some floral, like some red flowery stuff on it as
nice.
well. And that leaves Marko with this ornate shepherd's coat. Can be worn under or over your armor, probably under. And then you can have like your more metal stuff over top of it. You can see that on like a normal sized person, it would almost touch the ground. It is a long trench coat. It looks like maybe they hadn't even like decided how much they needed to like stitch it up or tailor it. Like the material just sort of cascades down. When you go to put it on, the shoulder and everything, it fits across your shoulders. You figure it might be a little bit snug if you try to like button all the buttons down the front, but it fits over your shoulders quite nicely. And it doesn't go all the way to the ground on you, but it gets to probably just a little bit below waist height. But it's flexible, it breathes, and it is very warm. Like immediately against the bracing cold, it is very comfortable.
Well, again, thanks. I wasn't in search of a reward, but thank you. It's very generous.
Yeah, this is very kind of you.
Again, sort of goes to the 3 of you and just sort of shakes each of your hands, like in both of her hands, in gratitude, and just says, listen, you guys, you've made a difference to me while you've been here, and that's all that matters. The Peacekeeper can look for the sheep and everything. All that I know is that today, you guys just saved me from a lot of potential problems and issues, and this is going to change my life. So, 3 items of clothing is, to be honest, it's the least I can do for the 3 of you.
What about the sheep?
It's
You're not-
unfortunate. I'll let the Peacekeeper sort all that out. I don't care if the Levexes or if... I really don't care who took the sheep or what took the sheep. None of that matters. It could have been the Bracewells. Who knows? I don't care if it was shepherds, if it was vagrants, if it was animals. None of that matters anymore. And so you can feel free to let the Peacekeeper know that unless he absolutely can spare the people to investigate it, if I don't get the sheep back, I won't be heartbroken. But having the mill up and running, that changes everything. So thank the 3 of you. I thank you so much for fixing the mill. I wasn't expecting that.
You're welcome.
And she says, I need to go write my brother. And she runs inside to the mill and closes the door.
Huh. That feels just as good as I would have hoped. That's what it's all about, am I right, ladies?
Oh, this is so much better. She already has the cowl and she's got it wrapped
Oh, yeah.
around her head. Her
And again,
voice is a little
since you're,
muffled.
yeah, since you're a gnome too, like it covers more of like your shoulders
Yeah.
than like someone who's like larger. So
Yeah.
it like drapes. It's not like a cape or anything, but like there's a lot of material that you can wrap around, and it is very warm. And it's very nice that you can just sort of pull the extra material up
Yeah.
over your nose and mouth and just sort of brace yourself against the wind.
Mhm.
And for you, Zana, the phrase "fits you like a glove" has never applied more in this situation.
Yeah.
When you put these things on, they're padded on the inside, and they just feel good to have on your hands.
Oh. It's very nice.
And if the
Good
3 of
day.
you are done with your investigation at the mill, I can take us back into Montrace proper.
Okay.
Good job, team.
So walking back from the west along this path, as you approach the center of town, you don't see the Peacekeeper or anything like that. There are very few people out and about. Again, it's very cold. By this point, it's getting into like afternoon into evening. And as you approach the fountain, you see that Auguste Millet is sitting on the edge of the fountain, just like writing in like a large tome or like leather-bound book. And is just sort of sitting there. He's got some tiny little spectacles, like looking glasses on his nose, and he's just writing up a storm.
Hey, it's my favorite guy.
And he looks up when you say that and says, "Oh, good to see you, the 3 of you. How was your day?"
It was
Morning.
good. He helped a lot.
Pretty productive, I would say. She's, still muffled.
Oh, did you find Philip Locklan's sheep?
No, but we saved their family business.
The mill has been restored.
You're joking me. You got that old hunk of junk to work again?
Well,
Mhm.
I didn't. But these 2 did.
Hey, you pulled that panel really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody can do that with a little bit of practice.
Evidently not, because we couldn't.
Well, sorry.
All
you-
I did was find some
Oh.
pieces of evidence for the investigation going forward.
Whoops. Sorry.
Evidence.
I can't share, you understand, but trust me,
Oh,
it's going to
but-
help this place a lot.
I understand. You gotta keep the Peacekeeper's secrets, I understand. That's fine.
It was just a promise that was made, is all.
Well, promises are mighty important. You caught me at a time I'm just updating some of my research notes about the Croyburns. Ever since the 3 of you found Haskin's body down in the wool drop, I figure I probably need to update some of my notes.
What else have you written today?
Oh, well, the whole thing with Haskin does put a bit of a strange spin on the whole Shepherd's War situation, considering the individuals suspected for carrying the body out and all that. It's strange, definitely. Now, remind me again. The three of you found Haskin's body, and you found one of them Devier arrows in him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
That's what I saw when the Peacekeeper was wheeling the body out. See, that's the thing that has me a bit confused, because now I need to go back and revisit some of my notes about the Shepherd's War, because the Shepherd's War ranged all over the area, but not into Montrese proper. It was far enough away from town. The shepherds who fought in it wanted to keep the battle away from the homesteads, you understand. So the fact that Haskin was found with an arrow in him from the battlefield doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I didn't think any soldiers were in the area.
Me neither. I kind of look up to them, but...
Then again, Harmon's body was found on the battlefield, so I suppose if Haskin was escorting the body, maybe he got hit or something, I don't know. But now I need to revisit some of my notes about the Shepherd's War. Oh, that's right, you wanted to ask me about that the first night you were here, but I couldn't talk about it in there, not with the recent loss in the town, you understand. It was just the wrong time to talk about it. Do you have any questions about the Shepherd's War?
Is there anyone still alive from the conflict here?
Ooh, let me think. Couple of old fellas. Some of the gents that I now share a table with are veterans of the Shepherd's War. Victor, in specific, I think he is the oldest. Let me think. It's hard because anybody who survived the actual conflict, a lot of people passed away when we had some plague wiped through the area several years afterwards that took a lot of older folks out too. There are some veterans still in the town. When you all came in that first day, there was a funeral for one of the final remaining veterans of the Shepherd's War. And that's why we couldn't talk, was Caraman Cromwell. That's the funeral that the three of you probably saw when you got into town that day. And his daughter, Dahlia, was the woman in the veil. And we all loved Caraman quite a bit, but to be honest, I think the conflict might have scrambled his brains a little bit. He had a bit of a conspiratorial mind and was not shy about sharing some of his thoughts about what happened. And although most of what he's saying I truly believe based on the facts of how the war happened, some of his accusations seem to fall a little flat, understand? But then again, when you're raised out here, you're raised to view the main city with a certain level of suspicion.
Right. I can't imagine it has many fans out here.
No, Devier is not a place we enjoy talking about here, or at least, the people here. As an outsider myself, I didn't have too much of an opinion on it, but when I first got here and I started hearing all the stories, it made me rethink a lot of stuff.
Like what?
Well, as much as the history books have been rewritten since then, it took the Devier army 2 attempts to subdue this area. That's something you won't learn about in school. But they sent a first wave, and they were beaten back by the shepherds in the area. It was humiliating. But it was the second wave of soldiers that came marching through with a lot of extra manpower that finally put an end to the Shepherd's War. And that was the most bloody conflict, was the second wave. You can still find memorabilia war clothes, armor, all sorts of things littered around the area. I've collected some artifacts myself. Got a couple masks, some epaulets, some spears, that sort of thing. Even some of the same looking kind of arrows that you all found in Haskin. Had one of the masks hanging on my wall for a while, but had to take it down. It was starting to give me nightmares. Didn't want to look at it no more.
If you don't
That's
mind, is there any way we could take a look at this mask?
Oh, certainly. I can show you. I found it not long after I got to town. It was standard issue, you see. All the soldiers wore them because the queen at the time, all the soldiers wore her face as a mask. Sort of a message to anybody in an uprising, reminding them that even if they're all the way across, the country, the queen is still the queen, and that's who they are. That's who they represent.
They wore her face?
Yes. Yeah.
That's so gross.
Well, not literally, understand. It was a metal, version of the queen's face, you understand?
Okay.
Eventually, her son ended that tradition because it wasted too much precious metal. It was extravagant. And now that we're in a time of peace, there's not really a need for that. But sure, I can, let me run off home, and I can, I'll fetch it, and we can look at it over, drinks at the Groggy Bee.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
All right, let me just pack up my stuff here, I'll go off and grab it, and I'll meet you all there. Save me a seat.
Can do.
Sounds
We'll
good.
have to make it fast, because once Victor and the others get there, I will have to move tables, you understand? Don't want to lose my spot. And then he heads off out of town, off to his wherever he's living at the time. But yeah, so you guys, again, can sort of just go wherever. Again, by this time of day, it was already overcast, so it's getting much darker earlier. Even though it's probably only in that 5:30, 6 o'clock thing, it's starting to get dark. And it's it's overcast, and it's windy.
Not only am I a huge fan of Devier tradition style, but I can't help but wonder if those masks might have a connection to what we saw the other night.
Oh,
Maybe.
it wouldn't surprise me with what we've been told. Quite honestly.
If you guys head back in the direction of the Groggy Bee, and you step inside, and it's early enough that a lot of the workers haven't come in yet from the fields, and so you can just sit down at the table that you were at for breakfast, and you see Colton and Zwara like in the corner at their table again, just sort of smoking their pipes by the fireplace. You don't see Eustace over there with them, but they're just sort of chilling in the corner. Selena's busying herself in the kitchen, getting stuff ready for all the farmers and the shepherds to come back from their day of work. And not long after you guys sit down, Auguste Millet comes back in with his bag and sets it down on the table, and he rifles around in it for a second, and then he pulls out a metal mask. It looks like there's some sort of fastener across the top that maybe would sort of hook in place to the inside of like a helmet. And then he lays it down, looking up from the table. And without having to roll for it, it is most certainly the same mask that you saw on the ghost soldiers during your investigation of Croyburn Manor. It's the same female face.
I would say it almost like jump scares me a little bit when when Marko sees it.
Oh, are you all right?
Yeah, I find it a little unsettling is all.
I mean, the queen wasn't necessarily the prettiest thing in the world, but I don't think there's need to be that much fuss about it.
It's not that, it's just... thing about it, just... Just seems menacing is all.
Well, I'm sure it certainly was. You see a bunch of soldiers marching in formation with the same metal face, no emotion. Of course it would have been scary. But that's what makes their first wave loss so humiliating. The shepherds weren't going to have any of that. Once the taxation got too heavy and they started to catch on to the whole wool drop situation, the queen wasn't very happy, so she sent a detachment of soldiers out to quell, the rebellion, sort of, and the first wave was beaten back. The shepherds won. They had them in the open plains. They were on the home field advantage, as it were, and they caused the queen's army massive casualties, sent a bunch of them packing. But once she rallied her forces and realized what she was up against, she made sure to come back in force. And that is when Montrace became officially connected to Devier as the official wool place in the kingdom, so to speak.
See.
There's not finer wool in the entire country than the wool that grows on the sheep that live in this valley. It must be something in the water.
It's always interesting to learn about history and the relationships certain sections of the world have with one another.
Yes, well, like I said, if we want to be talking about the Shepherd's War, we got to make sure we do it before any of the old fellas come back. Even though I wasn't mixed up in it, they were, and they're still holding quite a few grudges, understandably.
Right.
It's only natural. Well, anything you can share about your experiences would be very helpful.
Well, there's not too much to tell, I suppose. If you really wanted, you could read my research. If you want to borrow my book, that's fine. Or just little scribblings here and there about sort of the history of the area, the Croyburns, the Shepherd's War. It's all just sort of just notes here and there.
Well, I suppose anything could be helpful at this point.
Sure, just make sure you get it back to me soon. I'll leave
Can
it
do.
in your trusty hands.
Can do, thank you.
We'll take good care of it.
Promise.
I trust you. And just as he says that, the door opens up, and Victor and some older shepherds, men and women, start filtering in first. The older ones come in first and sort of start taking their places at all the tables. And Victor just sort of firmly clasps Auguste on the shoulder and sort of shakes him in sort of like a friendly way, like, it's time. And then Victor crosses the room and nods at you, Marko, and then takes his place at his table. And he starts dealing out some form of card game that looks way too complicated to learn.
Okay.
And Auguste sort of says, Oh, it's cards tonight. I haven't played yet with these guys, so wish me luck.
Good luck. Don't lose your seat.
He laughs and heads over to his seat. And it's a very similar scene. It's now the evening crowd at the Groggy Bee. People are filtering in, taking their spots at the tables, and Selena is serving them food. And the fire is roaring, and even though it's already dark outside, it is just a cozy, nice time to be in the Groggy Bee.
I feel like we had a good day today.
Yeah, and nothing beats an interesting day, or a good day even. Like capping it off back here. I'm starting to get a little comfy. I don't know about you two.
Oh, yeah.
Very homey.
As you guys are sort of just drinking in the sounds and smells of the Groggy Bee yet again, just sort of enjoying resting after a hard day's work, the door opens up and the Peacekeeper enters. And as he does, one or two shepherds immediately stand up and walk over to him and start grabbing on his arm. Like he's trying to make his way towards Selena and the bar. and they're just sort of tugging on his sleeve. And he turns to them, and it's just like you can't make out words, but it looks like he's trying to like hush them down and just be like, quiet, like shush. And he still is making his way towards the bar. And then finally you hear one of the voices say, "What happened to Philip Locklan's sheep?" And then there's sort of like a silence that falls across the room. And every shepherd in that room is looking over at the Peacekeeper. The Peacekeeper sort of cracks his neck, walks up to the bar, nods at Selena, and just sort of addresses the room as a whole and says, "Philippa Lockran is missing 4 of her sheep. We made an investigation. It would appear that her fence post is broken, and the sheep are not there. That's all we know, all right? There is nothing else of concern to you. All you need to know is the fence was broken and the sheep have gotten out, all right? I'm sure they'll turn up sooner or later. There wasn't any indicators that there was a large group of thieves or anything of the sort, so you can quiet down with that whole suspecting your neighbor nonsense, all right? This is a simple situation. The wind must have taken the wood beams down or something, the sheep got out, all right? It's not a huge deal. I'll add it to my list of things to do. You shepherds don't have anything to worry about. Obviously, if it makes you feel better, you can always contact Auguste if you need some extra hands around to make sure nothing's stolen, all right? That's the end of it." And then he grabs his drink, and he sits down at the bar and turns his back to the room.
Well, I think that went well.
I think under her breath, she's like, geez, can't they ever just give him a break?
Let's hope that worked.
I don't like that. Why are you giggling? Oh no.
He gets his drink and he spins around in the chair and walks over to you guys at your table and sits down and says, "All right, so Philippa told me you fixed her mill.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that wasn't necessarily what you're here to do, nor was it part of your investigation. Off record. It was a very nice thing the 3 of you did."
Yeah. We, like, after the fence post thing, didn't really find anything, but, like, it had to be fixed because it was broken, and the raccoons weren't listening when I asked them for the thing. So we took a long time with it.
Didn't know you were speaking to raccoons either as part of fixing the mill, but to be honest,
Yeah.
I can't say I'm surprised. And he sort of laughs to himself. He says, "Between the 3 of us, I'm not holding out hope for finding those 4 sheep, to be honest. The fact that no one is reported seeing them in what at this point is almost 24 hours. Sheep aren't necessarily fast runners. Somebody would have spotted them by now. Something's off about this. But until we have any actual evidence confirming that other shepherds are doing it, we don't really have anything."
Mm-hmm.
Not unless you think this has anything to do with anything. And I'll lay out the cloth for him.
He looks at it, and he pulls it up by the clasp, sort of turns it in his hands. And he said, "No, that shouldn't worry me. Not necessarily. In the initial wave of the plague that swept through, a lot of people died, and the Croyburns, being some of the, if not the wealthiest people in the town, Harmon specifically, started giving out clothes to some of the town locals during a colder winter. Anybody who lost loved ones, they could no longer support themselves. Well, he gave away a lot of his parents' clothes to people in the town, so that doesn't really narrow anything down. You'll find Croyburn clasps in just about every house that they helped."
So no certain individuals were in possession of these. It was the majority of the town, you say?
Could be anyone. You said you found this at the mill?
Under a tree. It was pinned under it, covered in mud outside of the mill.
You say it was covered in mud?
Yeah, I was investigating the trails leading away from the pins.
Well, I guess that is odd. If it was just sitting atop the ground like that, but again, that could literally be anyone. People crisscross and cut through people's fields all the time. I mean, the three of you had to do it just yesterday. It happens. So it doesn't necessarily narrow it down, but I guess I'm glad you spotted it.
It has to mean something. It's just too odd being in the path these sheep would have had to take.
Well, if you're desperate to figure out what exactly is going on, you could always try and follow where that path goes. Depending on which one it was, I'm not very familiar with the fields on Philippa Lochran's property. Do you know which direction it was headed, this path?
It seemed to be heading away from Montrese.
All right.
Didn't investigate much further, admittedly.
Okay, well, I mean, do you know roughly what direction it was?
Couldn't say.
All right, well, if you think of something or you figure out where the cloak belongs to or wherever it came from, that's great. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for these sheep, and I advise the three of you do as well. This is the freshest situation, so hopefully any evidence that you guys came across is going to be the most recent, and that's what we'll have to go with. For now, we don't seem to have anything conclusive. Did you find anything else while you were there?
That was it for me.
I mean, there was that... Was it a footprint on the side of the house? Or the building?
Mm-hmm.
That was weird. I don't know if that really... Anything came of that, though. Other than raccoons, but...
Yeah. Well.
That is very strange. Well, I can always take a look at it tomorrow. Again, Philippa already contacted me. She says she really doesn't want me worrying or investigating it too hard. If anything, I'm going to have to continue the investigation to please the rest of these people, but not necessarily Philippa. Oh well. It, again, doesn't change much. It's just 4 more sheep to find. And, again, all of us saw what was on the fence post. All right. It just so happens I'm not interested in involving that little tidbit to the rest of the town at the moment. All right? Still could be an accident, could be other animals, we don't know. It's not worth bringing up to these people. The last thing that I want is for these people to think that there is a wolf loose in Montrese.
Wasn't planning on it.
Forgive me if it's insensitive, but would that really be the biggest deal?
To someone like myself, or someone like you, no, it wouldn't. But to these people, it might as well spell the end of the world, like some sort of a sign that they've been dreading for a long time, ever since... Well, ever since Ganymede started having those dreams. Ganymede told Treese. Treese tried to figure out what was going on. He started having nightmares about wolves turning into men and walking into the town. The town interprets that all different ways. They don't know what exactly it means. People are still undecided. Some people think that it was a portent of the Shepherd's War. Other people think that it hasn't happened yet. Other people think it's lycanthropy. There's a million different theories about it, all right? Here's what I know. Until we have conclusive proof that it is in fact a wolf, I would rather not involve that in the investigation, and I would rather not tell these guys about that. Do we have an understanding?
Loud and clear.
Of course.
So like I said earlier, keeping the peace in a place like this sometimes involves withholding certain facts. It's not lying, it's just not giving them the entire picture so they don't get overwhelmed.
If being discreet is so key, do you think it might be possible to go on a hunt?
You mean actually try and track and see if there are any animals out there taking the sheep?
It could be a way to mark that off of our list.
Well, let me
See
think.
if it leads to anything else, or it could be nothing.
The Bracewells have a pack of hunting dogs, some hounds, but those would probably be the most effective way to track a wolf if there was one. But convincing Bracewell to agree to that is not going to be easy.
Well, maybe we can help them around their farm. Like we did today.
I can talk to Bracewell and see if I can't set up some sort of meeting with the three of you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But
Favor for
I
our favor.
wouldn't get your hopes up. And with that, he stands up and he just says, I think I'm going to go to bed early. I am extremely tired, and I would like very much not to be disturbed. And he walks towards the bar, sets his empty cup on the counter, and ascends the stairs to his room.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
And unless the three of you have anything final you want to do, we can go ahead and end.
I don't know if I've got anything.
I don't know if I have anything either.
Yeah, other than just keeping the cloth safe.
Okay. Yeah.
Just making it a point to stash it away in Marko's
Yep.
room.
So, at the end of this session, you guys now have all that new Shepherd's duds, and then you have Auguste Millet's field journal, and you also have the cloak with the clasp on it.
Cool.
And we will end with this epilogue.
Mm-hmm.
Your bed, which once smelled so foreign to you, now brings you comfort, like the perfume of a loved one. Meanwhile, ravenous eyes follow a carny emerging from the unfinished big top tent. And that is where we will end our session.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not going to think about that for 2 weeks.